Thanks so much to the community in general who have really supported us. This time around we've got a review written by Grinning Wolf Games, aka Cerberus Asdin, of Fort Triumph, which is one I was so keen to cover but we just ran out of time. The Nintendo Switch has seen a handful of solid turn-based strategy games in the recent years, most notably XCOM 2 with its great level design and Overwatch mechanic, or the superb slapstick antics of Mario and Rabbids in Kingdom Battle. Few, however, have come in a form quite like Fort Triumph. Developed by Cookie Bite Entertainment and produced by All In Games, does it have a solid structure or is it a forgetful experience? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Let's find out. It's fair to say that the story here is somewhat generic, and more of a means to get the game going, albeit delivered with some beautiful still images and a humorous script. It starts off with three adventurers teaming up to fight evil and avoid unemployment, whilst being eavesdropped by a nefarious cloaked character. The plot has a few twists and turns once you've played through a few hours of the campaign, but it never really moves beyond a means to an end. The storyteller narrates the adventures, and although there may have been a bit of a missed opportunity for the characters to be voiced, it didn't detract from the experience and the well-written humour in the dialogue, and I felt that those stunning cutscenes made up for it. Although many have described this as a mashup of XCOM 2 and Heroes of Might and Magic, Fort Triumph brings enough unique mechanics and playstyles to make it stand out from others in the genre. You explore a randomly generated map and can carry out encounters, battles, and pilfer some loot. There's also the base building mechanic, which allows your heroes to have permanent stat boosts and perks. What really shines here is the unique combat mechanics that focus on using the props in the battlefield as environmental hazards, thanks to its physics-based combat. At first, I attempted to play this like any other turn-based strategy game and kept losing miserably. The trick here is to use those rocks, trees and columns dotted around to your advantage. Your character can push a rock towards an enemy, sending them crashing across in the same trajectory. It's like playing snooker, except here you'll be lining up the enemies with a rock or other item to send them crashing like dominoes. And once you've learned this mechanic, you'll soon appreciate what your surroundings can offer you as regards working towards a victory. However, the enemies can also do the same, so be careful where you place your paladin or he'll be flattened like a pancake. There are 4 races in the game: humans, the restful dead, the forest utopia, and the yak scuffle goblins. There are also 4 classes: mage, paladin, ranger and barbarian. Each character can be leveled up and learn new skills, which are also randomized, meaning that no 2 rangers will be the same, and this made each one very unique. There's also permadeath, although you can toggle it in the settings, and it pays off keeping your heroes alive, but also gives the game a nice tension when you become particularly attached to one. There is a skirmish mode here as well, where you can set up a game and jump in without any hassles. And finally you have multiplayer, and although I didn't really get a chance to play it properly, it allows for co-op or PvP, which can be with another player or against the computer. I do love what the developers have done here. Adding different game styles helps the pacing. Unfortunately, some of the artificial intelligence and scripting isn't quite on point at times. On rare occasions, my characters and the enemies might get stuck in the level and I'd have to restart the battle. I'm hoping that this gets patched soon, and when it does, we'll feature that in an all patched up episode. It was a rarity, but it's something worth noting. The loading times are very good compared to other turn-based strategy games on the hybrid console, and I guess my main takeaway from gameplay is that it's very refreshing. If you had found yourself getting a little tired of the same old formula, I think this one's really going to appeal to you. The controls, and for the most part, they do a really good job. You can pan the camera out, revealing virtually all of the map, as well as close in to pick up the character's details. I do feel, however, that the cursor can be a touch quick, making targeting a tad hard at times, something that we've seen so often with games that should really be played with a mouse and keyboard. This means that I have missed an attack or two in the process. While they're generally good, I think the controller makes them feel more imprecise. Gameplay for me scores 17 out of 20. The controls are quite standard for a tactical turn-based combat game on a console, which is to say, they do the job, but you're not going to be throwing away your PC mouse and keyboard anytime soon. They score 15 out of 20. The art style is somewhat akin to World of Warcraft, and its vibrant use of colours depict the fantasy world in a gleeful manner. I didn't notice any dips in resolution either in docked or in handheld mode. Character models are cloned throughout the game. Now, I've added into this section, this is Mark by the way, I will say that artistically speaking, it does look a little bit mobile. You will see a lot of assets recycled, perhaps a tree exactly the same but slightly rotated, and the textures, well, they're either stylistic or a little bit low res. Frame rates were generally solid, but I did also notice a couple of stutters at times. While it does make good use of colour, the text is far too small, and the overworld map areas are artistically weaker than the 3D environments. I'd give visuals and performance 14 out of 20. Fort Triumph has opted for a melodic orchestral soundtrack from a renowned composer called Marco Valerio Antonini. It's the same man who worked on the Halo Wars 2 as well as Star Wars Squadron soundtracks. The harmonization of strings and brass instruments create a whimsical and uplifting tone that seems to perfectly fit the game. There are a few sound effects such as footsteps, the occasional swoosh of a fireball, and your character's grunt upon taking damage, but nothing stand out in that department. My favourite little detail is the chirping of the birds in the forest skirmish maps. I find it's the background sounds that you don't notice per se in games that very often bring them to life. An orchestral score, when done well, really makes a game feel like a premium experience, and that's certainly the case here. Overall, I give audio 18 out of 20. From a value standpoint, Fort Triumph is on sale for £13.49 at the moment with a 25% off discount until the 5th of September. The usual price will be £17.99 and it'll only take a measly 1GB of storage. I think the price is great for what you're getting in this package. There's hours of unique strategic fun, alone or with friends, and although you could, in theory, complete the main storyline in about 6 to 10 hours, those skirmish modes as well as the online really do provide good value in my opinion. If you're picking the game up at the 25% off discount, then add a couple of points to this score, but at its standard RRP, I give value 16 out of 20. I'm not going to lie, I have been absolutely addicted to this game. I would love to see the developers add more content in the future and possibly a physical release for us collectors. I'd really like to thank Mark and Glen for the review copy and for allowing me to add this review to their channel. It gets an overall SwitchUp score of 80%. And yeah, I want to echo back the thanks to you. I think you did a really good job and there were only a couple of minor tweaks, which is saying a lot. Thanks so much. If you guys enjoyed the review, please leave a comment down below and let him know. I think it's awesome. I'll pop a link to his channel in the description as well, and if you enjoyed the content then consider sticking around. Thanks to our patrons, you guys are amazing. You support us each and every month. We've had a few new ones join. It's people that have been around the channel for a while and they finally think, you know what, yeah, I'll join that Patreon. You don't even have to pay anything, you can literally join for free. All the links are down in the top pinned comment. For all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers guys, see ya!